Welcome to Jimosi podcast. So the cross-examination of the lead investigator Wani entered day 2 today at the Freedom Hall in Juba. This is the case of Riek Machar and the 7 co-accused. Day 1 of cross-examination being done by defense team happened last week on Friday, and today was the day 2. But when it comes to cross-examination, there are always it's like a two-step process. The first one is done by the prosecution team, which is the people prosecuting or accusing the individuals. So as the investigators say his evidence, they ask him some question, of which was completed last week. Now, starting Friday and today is the chance for the defense team to cross-examine. And there were a lot of questions that were asked, and we're going to look at a few of the questions that were discussed in court. And one of the questions was, this question was asked by Kur Lual Kur, who is one of the defense team member or lawyer. So he asked Wani if he had personally visited Nasir, and Nasir is the place where the incident took place, which was the fight between SSPDF and the SPLMIO and some white army. But allegedly, or how the thing whole started, it was initially being said to the white army with the SSPDF. Yes. So my first question is, do you think it is a must for an investigator to visit a place of war crime or a place of incident or a crime scene where it happened? Is it a must?
That's tricky. I think usually like in forensic science and stuff, if an incident occurs or a crime has occurred, it's usually the police who go to the scene to see what's happening. They mark the crime scene so that people don't interfere with the evidence, and then the evidence will be collected and it will be processed. So it's not like only one individual that does the entire thing. There's a team that is set up. These people will handle this part of this, and then the investigator, his role is probably to go and ask questions or to question the accused individuals. Yeah. And then whatever evidence, pieces of evidence that could have been collected are sent for analysis in the lab. If it's, let's say, blood stain analysis, things like digital footprints, or if you need to extract some sort of communication, then it has to be sent to a specialist in that field. And they go and do their thing. And now, like in this case, we are dealing with Wani, who's the lead investigator, will come and compile everything all together and then present it to court. So I don't think in this case Wani was required to go to Nasir.
Yeah, so when it come to visiting a crime scene, it's very crucial when it comes to the investigation and collection of all the data and the evidence. It is very important, but it is not a must. It depends with the case. Some of the cases that you were trying to refer to, some of them can be homicide cases, or murder. And this is where the police come. Police are not a threat of accident. Or an accident to come and piece the information together of how exactly the things happen. And most of the time, the police are not at a high risk when it comes to the actual place when they're doing investigation. But when it comes to the response, those are two different, because I'm trying for people to understand that the different responses, when it comes to police. There's a one where they respond like to a criminal activity happening at that time.
Ongoing.
Yes. So
like an active shootout.
So the one that will go there are the one that are going like to neutralize the situation. And then the investigation team will come later when everything subsidizes. You see. So now when it comes to this case, specifically this case of Nasser, this is a case of a war crime incident. these kind of cases, people don't do that.
Yeah.
Especially when you have not completely ruled out that all these people are no longer there. Because
That the situation is very stable.
Is very stable and completely stable.
Yeah, that there's no ongoing war and stuff.
Yes, and the fact that even a UN personnel was killed, will it be safe for Wani if a person that is not a South Sudanese is killed at that place? It is not safe.
In this case, it will be dangerous for Wani to
go there. Especially with the way that the case was happening. And then by the time that it became more secure for him to go as a government, whatever investigator, the evidence that he was going to collect was no longer valuable at that point. It would have been so good if he had gone when the whole thing was still fresh. Let's say the whole thing happened between day 3 and day 4. By date 5, if he was able to go there, then that would have been the right time. But at that time, it was not a secure place, of which Wani himself said the place was not secure. It was an insecure place, so that's why I did not go.
Yeah, and I don't think there's really any evidence that he was going to collect at Nasir. Because if it's the bodies, then it's obvious that these individuals died of gunshot wounds, right? And the not birth certificate, the death certificates had been issued. So you can clearly confirm that an individual has died and the cause of death was gunshot wounds.
Yes. And my final or second reason as to why it is not a must for Wani to have gone to Nasser is that the people that is investigating, the people that are alleged to have get involved or led to the cause of
a big role
in it, were all in Juba. It's not investigating anybody from the Nasser.
Like the White Army.
Yes, there's no one that they have identified at Nasser when it happened that this individual at the front line, we have identified this person and we are going after him so that he can go there. All these people that is looking into are people that are there in Juba.
Yeah, so actually the other person that could have been investigated if he was still alive would be the commander who was actively an SPLMIO as well as commanding the White Army. But unfortunately, he died during those operations. Yeah.
And then there was this question where it was also Kur who asked Wani. He said,
I think only Kur was asking questions today.
Yeah, maybe. So he asked Wani, do you agree with me that some government official, including Michael McQuay, Vice President Taban Dengai, General Johnson Olony, Benjamin Bolmel, and James Kong Chol, had accused the SPLMIO officials of involving in the Nasser incident before the case was actually opened.
Before starting the investigation?
No, even before the arrests were made.
Okay.
So he asked that if he was aware. But then Wani said no, he was not aware that these people have said, or if they had said those words, that SPLMIO official were responsible for the attack from these individuals saying them.
Yeah. So
him, he said, no, I did not hear them.
That's not the truth. He's not being truthful.
Yes.
Ask me the question now.
I'm going to ask you a little bit separate question, which is, can a criminal case have merit if senior politicians accuse one group of causing it before they are arrested? Before you arrest anyone, and people have made accusation mapema earlier before the actual thing.
I think it depends. It can still be legitimate if there's reasonable, like if you can get some evidence even later on to prove beyond reasonable doubt that so and so took part in this incident occurring. Yeah, but also it kinds of brings a lot of conflict of interest when you start accusing people or pointing pointing fingers at specific individuals to have initiated or orchestrated a certain activity to occur. And usually, like when the police are doing their own investigations, there's something they call tunnel vision. That's whereby you already have formed an opinion of the final results of what the final results of your investigation should look like. So it's like you are doing an investigation with a specific target in mind. Yeah, I feel like people accusing others before the criminal investigation starts is kind of fits within that description of tunnel vision. Because it would influence the kind of investigation that's going to occur. And then some people might try as much as possible to make sure they pin you down because you were the accused even before the investigation started. Yeah.
Yeah, so can the case have a merit? Yes, it can still have a merit, even like when politicians have said or have accused different individuals, because the case is not being, the judges are not going to base their judgment based on what people are saying.
True.
It is the evidence that is provided that can implicate other people.
Yes.
If there's no sufficient evidence, it doesn't matter what other people had said before.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah, but will anything that this individual had said about a specific group have some impact? Yes. Maybe some negative impact depending with how things are being viewed. If a large group of people are against those individuals, then now their anger or their negativity is going to be a little bit bigger because now there's something that is inciting them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the actual case, if it is open and people go to court, it doesn't matter like what people say. If there's no evidence to support it, it doesn't matter what individual have said before.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to make a point that I understand why General Wani said he had no idea that these politicians had said that. I'm very sure he was prepared ahead of time. That's how to answer some of those things. It's not just about yes, no questions. Sometimes if you say yes, then you might end up inviting some follow-up questions that might even implicate you and destroy the entire case. But in this case, we all know people like Michael McQuinlan, I might have not come across the statements by others like Taban, but Michael McQuinlan and Benjamin Bolmel, I saw their statements. I think for Bolmel, he was even addressing Kuok Dang around the time when he was being sworn in or something like that, that tell your people to stop fighting in Nasir.
When who was being sworn in?
When Bolmel was being sworn in. There's an event.
Was there a fight that was happening by the time that it was being sworn in?
Yeah, I think it was around May or something.
Of 2024?
2025, this year. And then for Michael McQuinlan.
When did Bolmel become a vice president? Not this year.
I will check that, but
it has to be it has to be last year.
This year.
Okay, if you say the word this year, then Kuok Dang was already at Blue House, right? And he had already been arrested. So Kuok Dang had no control of people at that point.
Or maybe it was referring to some of the conflicts, like internal conflicts that were happening around that Upper Nile region and Nasir in particular. Yeah. He told him to tell his people to stop fighting.
Then it will be 2024.
No, it was this year, not 2024.
But how do you tell somebody that's already in?
No, not when it was in. I don't think if it was in May or when, but I can't remember the dates properly.
People were arrested in March.
Yes.
Bolmel, by the time that people fought in Nasser, he was already a vice president.
Screenshot. Yeah, he was already a vice president. And then for the case of Michael McQueen, he issued a press conference.
Press briefing. He said that,
And then he was even going through like some of the videos that were shot that were being circulated online by the White Army. saying things like Viva, and he was trying to link it with the
Yes,
SPLM-IO and stuff.
Who are the people that have this slogan?
Yes.
If SPLM-IO say they're not the one.
Yes.
This is their slogan. Why is it being used by
the white army?
But again, that does not mean a group of people can go do something and say SPLM OYA.
Yeah.
Will it mean those are the SSPDF? High chances, yes. But
they could just be regular people saying
and then
that.
they're using it so that to conceal their identity. So it's not always a must.
Or to gain attention. You know, like whenever you are doing a meeting, even if it has nothing to do with religion, people say Atia Nyalimpir. And then they will respond, to get the attention of the people. And then now you do whatever you are doing. It could even be during political rallies and stuff. So saying a slogan doesn't necessarily mean you belong to that specific sector.
And then I feel like this question was asked by Kur to try to maybe to do a follow-up question on Wani, but to say if you knew of all these utterances, then it means your investigation was directed or fueled by this sentiment. You have to now look at the senior politician from the SPLM-IO.
Yes.
And that's why you directed your attention to them because of this statement that were made by this individual.
And it was very wise to avoid that.
But it was not the one that was it was not the one that arrested people.
Yeah, he's not the one that arrested people, but he's part of the investigation, right? As the lead investigator. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was that question regarding the utterances from politicians.
Yeah.
And if he knew of them, the answer, like we have always said, answer to anything is always no. There's no yes.
Deny.
Unless somebody say, did you commit? This is when you say no. But any other thing, any other question,
you say I'm not aware.
No. Yeah. And was it true that Wani had not had this statement? He had some of them, especially for Michael McCullough. It was all over when the government did a press briefing. Press briefing.
We forgive you. We understand.
So during that time, most people heard of that statement.
Yes.
But for Kongchol, I didn't hear it. For Johnson alone now. For
same.
Taban, I did not hear that one too.
Taban is not one person that is active anyway. I don't see him on social media. I don't see any press briefings that he does. Yeah. You can even forget that he is existing and holding a very powerful position. Yeah,
the only time that I saw him in public or he had a public appearance was when he went to Unity State, Bentiu, to go and visit some people there. And then he came back to Juba and he had to meet with President Kiir to tell him how people of Unity State were for peace and such kind of things, regular thing that people say when they meet Salva Kiir. But sometimes that's not always the case on the ground, on the actual thing. But then again, there was a huge focus on handling of the evidence that was being questioned a lot. Of those evidence that were taken from Machar's house when he was arrested. And these include electronic devices, firearms, and other material that were taken by the national security. So it was the national security, NSS, that did the arrest and the search. And to say it was a one day activity. They didn't do it on several days.
Which is good. Because you can tamper with evidence if you collect it on several days. Unless there's too much evidence. Like in the case of Didi. Yeah. But in this case, he just...
In Didi case, what did they collect? A lot of lotions, baby lotions.
Baby oil, not lotion.
Oh, baby oil.
Yeah, but they did a lot of like wiretapping, digital evidence and stuff. Yeah.
And so those...
And also the house is very big. Yeah.
And at the end of the day or at a later date, all those that were collected by NSS were given to the investigation committee.
Okay.
And then some of the things like the laptop, the phones that needed
Raya.
they needed electronic, they needed
Investigation.
forensics
Investigation.
investigation were taken to South Africa, Pretoria. Yes. And this one was done by a person called Dennis Dumo.
Yeah.
Was the one that took
An
that
ambassador.
back.
Is it the ambassador of South Sudan to South Africa?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And then, so they took it there. It was open in the presence of ambassador and then given to that private expert to deal with it.
Yeah.
And
when they were done, they gave it back to the ambassador. Yeah, and I think General Wani also mentioned that the ambassador was not part of the investigation team. It was just facilitating the movement of evidence between South Sudan and South Africa. Yeah.
Which one? Did they take guns there? No, guns were not used.
I think it's just the communication devices.
Yes, but then phones. Phones, you don't need ambassador to get involved. Anybody can carry them.
If you read there, they said like, if let's say you are doing some investigation or you are dealing between different governments, then it has to go through the government channels. It's not like the NSS will fly with the evidence to South Africa. It has to go through the embassy. And that's why they said, I think a few days back, the defense team were questioning who was handling the evidence that the South African embassy did not receive them. Then they said this is when now they are answering that question, that it was being handled by the government of South Sudan. So it's our embassy that was doing that. And Ambassador Dennis Dumo was the one in charge of letting them, like sending them to South Africa and receiving them back.
Yeah, but my question is, if they were saying that they were trying to do government to government, then when these devices arrive in South Africa, at Pretoria, they were not being handled by the government
South African
expert.
Government.
They were given to a private expert. So this idea of government to government, I don't see it here, right? It doesn't make sense. It just seemed like it was a cargo package that was going on a plane. Unless like it was technically like, take for example, if there's some complicated things inside that box, take for example, like if there was a firearms that had to be taken to South Africa for
ballistic analysis,
or let's say prior, because those one are military equipment, they cannot just be transported by anybody else. Then this is when we can say this is where the government was needed. But if it is just phone, the laptops, anybody can carry them. They didn't have to involve any government thing and say it was done in a diplomatic way. I don't see anything here. So long as they ended up giving it to a private person, then there was no need of saying it is supposed to be government to government. And the defense team asked Wani if all the items were properly documented and accounted for during all this process. And he said yes. This is the only place that he accepted that.
Yes, applies.
Yes. And do you think Wani's statement truly are actual or factual and should be taken to court as he said them, or should be taken seriously by the court as he present them? Like when he is asked like some things like, was the evidence handled the proper way and maintained throughout? Then he just say yes, it was. And then the other question is, did you hear those of Machar speaking? No, not Machar. Those of Michael McQueen and the other senior politicians that are in government say those what, and they said no.
Well, I
Our judge is just supposed to say, yeah, and that was his response, so it's none of our business.
Well, I think he's being very smart in this case because he's trying as much as possible to avoid anything that would implicate him or anything that would put his character and professionalism in question. Yeah. As much as we all heard what Michael Makwelo had said during that press briefing and what Bolmil said, for some people, like, you did not hear anything. I did see the video. Then it doesn't mean everyone got that information. And I don't think they did the press briefing on SSBC. It was just like different media houses that went to report. Yeah. So there's a possibility that he did not see that. Yeah.
But then I will have this other question that I feel like it's either the journalists that went to the Freedom Hall that are leaving out some question out, they're not writing everything. But most of the thing that Wani is saying here, they need a lot of follow-up question.
Yes.
Where the defense team asking some follow-up question. For example, if he's asked if the evidence and everything was well handled all through the process. If we say yes, then it's supposed to be told, okay, take us step by step. When they were taken from Machar'S house, where were they taken? When they were taken there, what was done? On the day that they were being transported to South Africa, where did they locate them that day? Where did they take them? How was it taken to airport? And then at the airport, where was it placed? Was it in the cargo or it was inside the plane? And who was having it? When did it arrive in South Africa? And what time did it arrive? For you to say that they were well maintained and documented, you should at least have timeline of exactly how things happen. Either it is not a must for you to have been there, but you should have been given the timeline of how things happen.
Yeah, so this is what he said. Wani told the court that a diplomatic bag containing some of the seized evidence was sent to Pretoria, South Africa, for examination via the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The bag was handled through South Sudan's embassy in Pretoria under the supervision of Ambassador Dennis Dumo, who later oversaw its return to Juba. So they were sent to South Africa, landed. Dennis Dumo saw the evidence. He received the bag. It was open and then sent it to the investigator or the analyst. And then they were sent back to the South Sudan
and then brought
embassy.
it back. But there are more questions to that.
And then he said the diplomatic bag was opened in the presence of the ambassador at our embassy in South Africa. It was then formally handed over to a private expert and later returned to Juba, where it was received by the investigation committee.
Yes. So in this case, I feel like the defense team would have had asked a lot of follow-up questions like, how do a diplomatic bag look like? Do you have a sample of it so that we see? What color was that diplomatic bag?
Oh, Sophia.
What color was it? And then you say Dennis Dumo. Where did he take it? At what time? Like, there should be a timeline to everything.
Yeah, I know, but then...
Not just saying it was in a diplomatic bag, it was taken there, it was open in front. Anybody can just say those words.
Yeah, no, but the questions you are currently asking are part of the chain of custody. And the custody log that they said were presented together with the pieces of evidence. But then they said last time that they were waiting for the expert, for the forensic expert to come so that they can open those things and go through them. So when they open, that's when they'll say, okay, this thing came here. It's like a tracking record. At this day, this time, this is when the evidence was received. It was taken to the lab, did this, and this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that one, was a copy of them given to the defense team?
I don't know.
That they already have, so they're okay with how the whole thing went, that they need more questions.
Yeah, but the thing is here, it's really tricky because we don't know if the journalists who attend the court session are taking all the questions or they just take what they can get
or what they
or
feel
what
like
they feel is more important.
Yeah, when it comes to
To the case itself.
to the case itself. Yeah. So, and then when he was asked, it seemed like Kur Lual was the one asking most of questions for today. So he asked Wani if he had investigated James Kong Chol since he was the governor of Upper Nile State, in which Nasir is located.
Yeah, it was the governor during the incident, but then replaced recently. Yeah.
I'll have a different opinion.
No,
But-
James Kong was the governor of Upper Nile State.
Wait.
Okay.
But he said that was concluded by the investigation committee that the governor's statement won't help in the case.
Okay.
So now go ahead. So you are saying James Kong was the governor at the time of the
At the
of
time
the
of
incident?
the incident, yes.
No, it was not.
Was he not?
No, it was not. It was appointed after the incident. This is when Guy Cook of Jonglei State was appointed,
Riek Guy
and Riek Guy Cook was appointed, and him also appointed to replace the one that was there in Upper Nile. And a lot of people say this was a political move to solve the issues in Upper Nile. It seemed like the governor that was there was not working.
Oh, okay. Kir appoints new Upper Nile State governor in breach of deal. And this article was written on March 19th.
He was appointed
So
on
he
May
was
19th.
appointed, you
19th.
can say during the incident because we
It was
cannot
2 weeks
rule out.
after the incident.
Yeah, the major fight that is.
And then after that, there had not been any major fight that has taken,
Okay.
that is being
okay.
investigated at the moment. So that's why I feel like the committee stated that Kong Chul's statement will not help because all these were happening when it was in Juba.
I actually agree with that because the person who was decreed out or replaced by James Kong Chol is called James Othok. Is it Odok or Yai?
Yes, that should have been the person that should
was
have
supposed to
been
be investigated.
Yes.
But in this case, they were asking him about James Kong,
Yes.
of which he has nothing to say about the incident. It's something that occurred prior to his term. So I agree with Wani that his response would be of no use to the investigations.
Yes. But then if you look at the question, the way it was asked was to try to see if Wani was selective in people that he investigate.
Okay.
Because Kong Chol was among the people that said those of SPLM top politicians or top senior leaders senior leaders were responsible for the incident.
For the SPLM-IO.
SPLM-IO, I mean, were responsible for the incident that happened.
Okay.
It was said to be one of them that said that statement.
And actually, it was initially part of the SPLM-IO before moving
That was
to
in 2020.
SSPDF. Yeah.
Yes. So that means they were trying to see, was one here avoiding him for being part of the government and not investigating him. So that's why they asked him. But if they had looked at the timeline, then Kong Chol,
is irrelevant in this case. Yeah.
But is it possible, because he was appointed 2 weeks after the incident, now that he had moved to the state, is it possible that he can have some information based on what people say?
That would be hearsays. So these investigators can as well go and investigate the people on the ground. Yeah. The only governor who should have been asked, because this war happened during his time, is the Othok guy. Yeah. But then if they did not reach out to him, then... Because that's the person they can ask things like, okay, so when the incident happened, how was the situation prior to the incident occurring? And then what steps did you take to mitigate the incident from happening or to try and solve the issue? Yeah, but if you investigate James Kong, then what kind of questions are you going to ask him? These are things that happened before he became the governor. So he has no idea about what transpired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also during the arrest of Riek Machar, there were some individuals that were also arrested in his compound. And these were Brigadier General Mark Didi Yoah, and then also Brigadier General Par Dang Yuot, and all of them like Brigadier General Kuok Dang Yiel, and Major Hoth Chiok. They were, based on what Machar said, they were taken from his compound that day. But as of today, or as of the day that the court was happening, the court process was happening at Freedom Hall, nobody knows of their whereabout. And Kur Lual Kur asked Wani if he knew where these 4 men were. And he said that they were not part of the people being investigated, and for that reason, it does not know where they are. Is that a right way to answer that question?
That they were not part of the current case.
They were not. They were
court.
not a group of people to be investigated. So for that reason,
So why were they arrested?
They should have been the follow-up question.
Yeah, because if they were not forming part of the defense or the defendants, then there was no business arresting them. If you want to contain someone within their compound, then you could have easily told them to move if they are staying in that house and go find somewhere else to live, because this house is under arrest. The person is being placed under house arrest. Yeah. And how is it possible that those individuals who are arrested or kidnapped or abducted and the investigators have no idea of what happened to them? Yeah. Or whether they were even arrested.
Yeah, this is where either Kur Lual Kur had asked a follow-up question and the journalist decided not to write it, or he did not ask it, but he should have asked it, because there's no need of arresting people.
True.
And then like 6 months later, nobody know where they are. As much as you say you are not part of the team that was doing the arrest, at least you should account for, like, if you are asked a question like this, you should say, okay, by the time that I step in, I didn't see them.
Yeah.
But is it something that can be followed up? Okay, go talk to the people that call you and say, go investigate these other people so that we know of their whereabouts.
Yeah.
But it has been over 6 months. We have not seen the community or the families coming out and calling for their relatives. Why are they keeping quiet? Now that you didn't know, like few days after those of my child were taken to court, the bodyguards, some of them were released and people saw them. So if these individuals were missing, they should have said that these other people are missing.
Yeah.
And then so that people rally for their call, so that people know where are they.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Anyway, maybe we can go with our previous guest that the journalists are not taking all the questions down. Because in this case, there have to be some follow-up questions.
Yes.
If people are missing, it's not like money or anything tangible or intangible that is missing. It's a whole human being, and these are adults. So if they are not present, like they are not at Riek Machar's house, and they have gone to Blue House to search all these prisons, then it's up to them to now ask, like you said, where are these individuals? Yeah. And it should not take like a whole month. So it's more than a month, because this case started on 22nd of September. Today is on 27th of
And this
October.
is when they are raising this question.
Yeah.
This is something
it
that
should have been raised like long ago, when they were even talking of unconditional release. of the
And not being
bodyguard.
the right call. That first day,
Yeah.
they would have. But again, it will be a little bit. It's tricky because at that point, even the bodyguards of my child were not released. So people would have assumed that maybe they're in detention with the rest of the group. But again, did the lawyers, when they were given the opportunity to see all the detained people, did they ask for the detailed list of everybody that was arrested so that they can try to account for everybody at the initial stage? And then when they came to court, they would have said, okay, at this point, this number of people were arrested. We know this number of people are available. They are here and there. And we have these other 8 accused here with us today. But we have these other people missing.
Yeah.
Why did they have to let a whole month go and then throw in this?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's too late to let it just slide like that.
Yeah.
Should have been among the first questions.
Top priorities, yeah. Because this is human life. Like if someone is missing for over 6 months, even when you report a case to the police, you start searching places like hospitals, mortuaries, cemetery, yeah, and the police stations to see where your person is. These are 4 people. It seems they have like high military ranks within the party. So these are individuals who are well known. There's no way they can be missing for that long, and now is when the question about their whereabouts is being raised. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I feel like the people that should be responsible for their whereabouts should be the national security.
Yes, the arresting authority.
One that arrest them. They should say, after they arrest them, where did they take them? And what happened to them?
Obviously, if you are arrested by the national security, then you end up in Blue House, mostly.
Yeah, then the judges are supposed to order for that.
Yeah.
Say, okay, this is something urgent and genuine. We should know where are these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we are working on the case, if the case is to be worked on.
Yeah. It's tricky. Like some of these things, they're just moving forward with other things without properly concluding.
I feel like this is the first case that is being done the right way.
Yeah.
So they're used to the lousy way of doing things, missing things here and there, and then you are given judgment and you have nowhere to go. You just end up in prison.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's tricky, but it's really, I don't know how other people feel about it, but this case is kind of, I feel like they are doing their best on both sides, both the prosecution, the defense team, the investigator, the judges. Everyone is playing their cards well.
Yeah.
For a case of its nature. It's not like I'm supporting any side, but this is my personal opinion and observation based on how this case is progressing. Yeah, because I think a few hours ago I came across a certain judgment about a case whereby I don't know who took an ATM for these community associations, and then one person gave it to another person, money got lost.
Bank card.
Yeah. And right now, there's 3 people. There's a man and 2 women. The man was told, I don't know, they have to leave 4,500. The total amount was around 7,500. The lady was told she will pay 1,500 and then pay the other person back at a later date. But if you look at the wording, like, it doesn't really sound very professional. And it's not very clear. But in this case, we are seeing that it's like they put the top brains or people who are very competent to handle the case. I'm sure you've also come across other cases and audio somewhere where you hear someone talking and then you're like, this is a lawyer going to defend someone in court. Half-baked. But in this case, like, you clearly see the Arabic is top-notch. If they're speaking in English very fluent, and they're asking the right questions and giving the right responses,
and
then
quoting the right articles.
Yes, and they're having like a mature intellectual discussion
or argument.
Yes. So big up to them.
Yes. All right. So that's it for Jimosi podcast. Please consider subscribing, like, share, and leave your comment. Let us know what you think. If there's any question that you want to respond to regarding if senior politician accused one group of being responsible and that group ended up being arrested, does the case itself have some merit now that some people had already voiced their opinion? And then should there be more questions to what are being asked or what we are seeing now regarding the 4 individuals whose the whereabouts is unknown?
Yeah.
We should know that.
And how do you think this issue should be addressed? Because the individuals need to be found. Yeah, it's not just a matter of mentioning that they are missing and then you move on with the next agenda. If they are missing, they need to be found, either dead or alive, at least for closure to their families. If they are in exile, then that information also needs to be revealed.
Yes.
So that people don't start creating some enmity when they are actually outside the country.
Yeah, they're alive and kicking somewhere. Then people should know that.
And actually, earlier you mentioned that James Kong was one of those who called out SPLM-IO for...
based on the statement that was said in court.
Yes, I actually came across an article which was published in March. Yeah, around the time he was appointed, on March 10th, he said that the SSPD, he was accusing the
SPLM-IO.
Yeah, the chairman of SPLM-IO, Riek Machar, of blocking evacuation of displaced troops, saying that he was obstructing efforts to evacuate soldiers displaced during the clashes in Nasir County.
Yeah, but during that time, I think James Kong Chwal on the SSPD's PDF side, he was the head of operations and Sujui logistic and whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that statement came from.
He was the assistant chief of defense forces for training.
Okay, for training. Yeah.
According to the photo that was indicated and his name, title, and everything. Yeah, this was like a week before being appointed to be the governor of Upper Nile. Yeah, I'll give you the screenshot so that you can put it there.
All right, so that's it. Please consider subscribing and see you in the next video.
Let's get to 4,000, please.
It's possible.
Yeah.